Okay, mic check, mic check, mic check. Should be able to now hear, see the screen, all that. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. And I guess we can start off here with the date, timestamp. Today's going to be Tuesday, the 11th of November, 2025. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to the week, month, etc. Good to go. And I'm going to be here for about an hour, give or take. I'll go through some pre-market prep here. Starting out with some futures, take us to the open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And if there's a setup off the open, we'll definitely take advantage of that with some managed risk. And so let's dive in. Usually I'll start off here with, just a couple of quick news announcements. We do, supposedly the government is supposedly reopening here, give or take. And that's important because the economic news or planned economic news that should be coming out was kind of on a halt or a pause, if you will. However, we do have to keep in or keep on our radar, I should say, in a couple of days, the CPI report and unemployment claims that could be coming out here on Thursday, and then into Friday as well. We have retail sales and PPI as well. So this could help drive some volatility and or movement. And as I mentioned, yes, because of the shutdown, the economic news has been a little bit odd, if you will. Things that have been on pause and so on and so forth. So, that's coming out there, but that's not really going to be as much for today, being, of course, Wednesday the 12th. I'm sorry, Tuesday the 11th, right? That's today. There's nothing much here in terms of that, but just keep an eye out if you're going to be trading for the rest of the week. On Thursday and Friday, that CPI. Also note, just real quick to my Phantoms members, it's annoying, and I'm kind of announcing this on YouTube publicly, but the Friday session is going to be moved to Thursday. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on through the week. So I just want to let y'all know that as well. No YouTube on Friday. We're going to have the trade room for Phantoms on Thursday. No Friday session, unfortunately. Let me click over to the charts. This is why we're here right now. So I just got the SPX in the background here. And however, not there yet. I'm going to pop this open here. I always start off here, no matter what. Demand and institutional demand and supply is going to be the main strategy backdrop here at Phantoms. Of course, top-down multiple time frame analysis. So you will see a lot of orange, yellow, and blue in terms of colors on my charts. Why? I color code the three major higher time frames. Orange is going to be monthly time frame designation. So anything that you see in orange, for example, October high, October low, last month high, last month low of October, September, etc., highs and lows, okay, going to be highlighted in orange. If you see a VWAP, if it's an orange, that's a monthly VWAP. Color code for weekly is going to be yellow. So same thing, last week's high, last week's low, highlighted there in yellow color code. Weekly VWAPs are going to be yellow, followed by last, but certainly not least, we got the daily time frame color code blue. Okay, just a general outlay. You can, you can do as you may, right? But yesterday's high, yesterday's low, for example, daily time frame is highlighted there in blue, and you'll see my daily VWAP, etc. Also in that color code there. Quick little checklist for the Phantoms team. Candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names, great. However, context and location being more important. Okay, typically we're going to be looking for these candlestick prints in the context of uptrends at demand levels. Bearish candlesticks, again, a bunch of fancy names. Context and location, super important. Patience. Typically, when you're looking for these, okay, in the context of downtrends at supply levels, okay, of course, we do not have a downtrend in the overall indexes still, even though last week we had a nice little drop, okay. We're still in a macro bull market, okay, so we don't really see, or we can still short the market. However, we're going to be very patient and strategic at what levels and the timing of that, and I'll see if I can work that out here for this morning as some prep. Liquidity map, super important. Of course, this is well beyond a quick little session here, pre-market prep on YouTube, but two actions, buys and sells. However, there's four possibilities because we could have, buy to enter, okay, in which case you would need to sell at some point to exit. If you're bullish, buying to enter bullish, okay, you would have to sell to exit on a rally to take profits to realize gains. If you're bullish and the market goes down, you at some point have to sell to exit if the market's going against you. Okay, so buy to enter, sell to exit. We also have sell short to enter, okay, which is a accumulation order of a bearish trade, and at some point you have to buy to cover. If you're bearish, shorting to enter, you would want the markets to go down or price action to go down, in which case you would have to be a buyer to cover or exit. If you're shorting the market and the market goes up, you're wrong. You're on the wrong side. So of course you'd have to exit as that market is on the other side. All right, stop loss, etc. Break that down into quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 2 are connected as an uptrend. 184 connected as a downtrend. And this is kind of what we call phantoms here, the liquidity map. And the key is lining up multiple time frame analysis on this. You can have two different quadrants in two different time frames, right? You can have a move down, downtrend for a day or two or week or two. Okay, we're coming into a overall higher uptrend. Okay, but we talk about that, of course, with more due time. Let's kick this over into the futures. IQ fresh demand level with monthly VWAP stack with Monday and Friday daily VWAPs price hitting right at the 50 EMA. Solid confluence. My man YT already going, and I love that. Love that, Yoav. We get to that right now, sir. We got the S&P futures upper left, NASDAQ upper right, daily time frames, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. And you can't even see the chart. So what I'm going to do here is just type in /MES there, and it kind of just cleans things up there. And, this is basically because I do so much of the work and notes, et cetera, so on and so forth on the regular /, for example, the NQ. I'm just going to type in the /micro NQ, and therefore you can have a bit more of a cleaner chart with not having so much of my notes there. All right, so I'm going to make a little bit of change there. So opening up here for the daily time frame of the S&P futures. Again, I just clicked on the MES, the micro ES, which is going to be the same price as the ES. This is just the micro contract. Again, just to kind of clean up all those prior notes. Okay, so here, nice clean chart, daily time frame S&P futures. Okay, got a 20p moving average, no big deal. Got the 200 right there. Okay, and as you can see, here's current price. All right, and last week we had a little bit of a down week, so on and so forth, right? And of course, yesterday being Monday, we're going to map out yesterday's high, yesterday's low. I'm going to do that right now. All right, but just real quick, we've been talking about this 10-10 bar, inside bar. We had a breakout. Okay, this was the last little basing kind of hoorah here that broke out the famous kind of October 10th bar right there. Great, left a level of demand here. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this chart clean here, but we did have a level that we were looking at last week coming in down. All right, coming down. So price was coming down into this bit of a level there. And this was actually a weekly, this was a couple of daily lows here. And this was actually a weekly low. So we were really targeting this area here, whereas we were dropping down on Friday, okay, targeting some buy covers, okay, and some buy to enters for what's called a G trap and a liquidity sweep last week. Ended up putting in, so we were waiting for this level 6665 all day on Friday. Ended up hitting later in the day and painted a nice little doji hammer bar there. Bulls took back the day, if you will, coming off that 6665 level that the Phantoms members were planning late Friday. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Monday, pop back up, and we got a nice little follow through. And yesterday actually did close, okay, above a couple of red bars over here, right? So this was called a positive COG back above that 20 period moving average, still in the context of an uptrend. Okay, now we potentially could have some fall through here. Okay, now this makes, of course, last week's low, that 6665, which is ironically at around the level that we were talking about to get long or bullish, the 6665. Okay, so we're about 10 points below that, a little bit there. Great, good move. All right, and now I'm going to map out the yesterday's high and yesterday's low here. We will also map down, drop down to our small time frames and map out our global high, global low. But before I do that, just note as well, if I go to say the weekly time frame, okay, you might want to write this down, especially for some pre-market prep. Last week's high, okay, this is last week's high, 6909.5. Okay, other than that, above, we only have the all-time high, which is October's high, 69.55. So in terms of the monthly and the weeklies, there's only two major levels. The 69, let's just round up to 69.10. Okay, then we got 69.55, handle all-time high there. Okay, so make a note of that 69.09. I'm going to drop back down to the daily time frame here right now. Okay, and these are super important, right? So above, say yesterday's high, we only have this other one daily high here, 68.85, rounding up. There goes that weekly high at the 9 handle, and the all-time high. There's a little sneaky daily high right up there as well. Now, before I move on from this page here, I'm going to map out the overnight low right here as well, and the overnight high. Or I should say not overnight. I'm not there yet. This is yesterday's low in terms of a daily. What's going on, Money Mike? 1 ounce of theory, government opening. So I don't care about the government. Politics being politics. This is yesterday's low. I might be off by a tick or two or point. I took a couple of ticks, so just make yesterday's high. Make sure you make a note of that. Mark Wahlberg, my man. Hopefully, you held on to some of the trades that we took on Friday. I know you were looking to leg into some swings, brother. Mark Wahlberg. If you held on to some there, you got you got it. Good job. So we get a couple. Now, yesterday I was referencing this daily high. Yesterday we had, as we rallying up, I had this daily high here, this daily high here. Okay, as a reference point. My fancy members will know. All right, so I'll just delete that because that was yesterday's. Again, I'm just kind of keeping a clean chart here. Okay, so if we hypothetically were to break yesterday's high, which is a 68.67 handle here, okay, we get these levels up here. So when you're using these as liquidity sweeps, referencing if long, TP, we could potentially have a G trap here, short as well. If we break the daily low here, we're going to be looking at some higher time frame. I'm sorry, small time frames, G traps down here again. So I just mapped out overnight high, overnight low, nice little green bar close, taking out a couple of red bars last week, okay, on the little bit of a pullback there. And then we have the hammer bar continuation. NASDAQ, switching over to the NASDAQ daily time frame, almost the same thing, okay, in regard to here's, for example, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Yeah, not enough Augusta, right? Yeah, I actually have the 663 strike call that we got in on Friday. I left a couple of them on, and I actually am long S&Ps from that. I was already taking some profit off of it yesterday, just distributing some of those shares. All right, now on the NASDAQ, I'm going to be referencing, simply put, last week's high right up here. Watch out for that hit point today for some liquidity. What's this high last week? It's 26,260. Rounding up 266. All right, I gotta move faster here. All right, last week's low, last week's high. There might be a couple of ticks points off of this on the NASDAQ. All right, taking too much time there, but it's super important. Let me go back down to a daily. Apologies for that. Pop this open. There we go. All right, now we have a couple of daily highs right up here. All right, a couple of daily highs, right? Watch out for that one here. All right, just get my eye up on this one here. This is the daily high. All right, I'll leave that there for now. All right, when we drop down to the small time frames, I'll map out the Globex high, Globex low, and these monthly, weekly, daily highs and lows are going to be used to help some sweeps and confluence there. All right, so get the Dow Jones here, get the Russell 2000. And as we speak right now, we got S&P's down 23%, 23 basis points. We get NASDAQ down 0.45. Got Russell and Dow Jones. Dow Jones actually flat right now, fairly decent. And then we get the Russell 2000, which is it's not even below, but still below its 20-period moving average there. All right, so monthly, weekly, daily, can't stress that enough. All right, I just went over the daily time frame real quick, just on a clean chart there. I'll drop down to small time frames in a moment. So just moving on, we got the monthly time frame here on the left, weekly here in the middle, daily on the right, monthly, weekly, daily. Can't stress that enough, even if you're a short-term trader / scalper even. Okay, you still need to know where you are on those higher time frames, monthly highs, weekly high, daily highs, etc., lows. Switch this over into the smaller time frame. So I have the upper left 30-minute time frame. I'm sorry, 1 hour time frame, upper left 30-minute time frame, bottom left, followed by a 2-minute time frame, 5-minute here in the middle, followed by the 2-minute on the right. Pop up in the 1 hour time frame here, the S&P futures. And here's where it's not as clean, right? So I'll do our Globex traps, Globex high, Globex lows. I'll map out the traps, and then on the other chart, I'll keep that a little bit more cleaner there, if you will. Just real quick, 45 seconds, no big deal. This was last week, Thursday high. Overnight, Fridays, overnight high, overnight low. We dropped down. We were nailing some shorts. Okay, nailing some shorts on the S&Ps, and on the Nasdaq. We came down to the 6665 level, which was a G trap below Globex low, below last week's low, came into a prime level of demand. Great. The rest is history, right? Put in low of the day, and then we just ripped up. So that was great. Then we just rallied up, right? We have a couple of daily highs here, just like I was just doing for us on the clean chart there. I took some time to map out what weekly highs and daily highs above current price, right? So if I update this, here's the new Globex high here for today. All right, and there's also yesterday's high hovering at around here too. I can just kind of delete that. But here's the Globex high represented by that blue line there, overnight high. Overnight low is going to be here, Globex low. And one of the things that we're looking for is a level of demand below the institutional level of demand below the Globex low. So if I look down on the left, of course, this is going to be a simple one, just because remember, if I go to say the MES, this is going to be very simply put, okay, just clean chart, yesterday's low, okay? So yesterday's low. So if I go back to the micro ES, and I'm sorry, the ES, which is the same thing essentially, okay, we're going to be looking for a liquidity sweep below this 6772, below yesterday's low potentially, all right? Now, if I go back over here on the ES, which is essentially the same thing, again, just less notes and less overwhelming, the prior day's yesterday's low is going to be right there. Okay, so watch out for what's called a potential liquidity. Let me just do this liquidity sweep right below there. We have a bit of an unfilled gap right below here too. Okay, so this could be used as a potential G trap bullish. Call it 67.65 G trap bullish. All right, that would be below yesterday's low as well, in addition to this. All right, now if I look down and left, we do have this level. We have of course, you can't argue this. We have a drop, okay? We have yesterday put in a little bit of a low there, and then we kind of rallied, right? So this is going to be a level of demand, okay, below current price. All right. So definitely reference this. Now, one of the things that I'm looking at is a very obvious level here. One of the things I'm looking at, notice this even number here, 68. Notice right below here, this is going to be the regular trading hours low. Okay. So one of the things I just wanted to make a note here for the team is if you start to enter, don't get me wrong, this is where the level of actual demand, you have a drop. There's one candle here. Yes, if I drop down to a 5-minute, you'll see some basing, then a rally, right? You could of course begin this at 68.10 handle. Right now, don't get me wrong, right? That's the level of demand. Just watch out, however, they got this even number here, okay? And one thing I'll just make a note of is watch out, right below that even number, we have that regular trading hours low right there, which is going to be a hit point, and then right below there, we have this little level right here. So in English, or what I could just say, to try to keep it simple as I possibly can, is I would suggest to not put your stop loss right below this level. In fact, you can almost scale in. Okay, so I almost want to put a G-trap bullish long entry, which I'll make a note here, call it this level here at the 67.90 handle. Okay, G-trap bullish. And that would be right below that regular trading hours low. Regular trading hours, that darker space right there. Okay, so again, I'm just setting y'all up for not being a victim in the event that we just get a little bit more of a flush lower than here. Okay, I'll keep this box gray, okay, and that kind of signals that be careful at the 69.10 handle, 69.09 handle. Okay, don't get me wrong, that is a level of demand. Yes, that qualifies as a G trap. G trap is going to be trapping people who are looking to chase price red barred lower into a context level of demand. Okay, below the Globex low in the context of an uptrend. Okay, so you can keep that in there, but just again giving you some more conservative. Okay, as well, I'm on YouTube as well. 67.90 is going to be a little bit of a hit point there. In the event that gets flushed out, okay, below this 67.71 yesterday's low, unfilled gap, 67.65 could also be a nice area for a G-trap bullish long. Okay, so pay attention to the green numbers with the prices labeled G-trap. All right, if we were to break higher above the Globex high, okay, well, I'm looking at a couple of levels, right? So here's the Globex high. And if I just go to the micro ES just for a minute or a second here to just show you the clean levels, right? This is going to be yesterday's high, very close to Globex high as well. We have this daily high 84. We have this weekly high 69.09. Okay. Now I'm going to break this level down. Okay, I'm going to break this level down, and if I go back to the ES, basically the same thing. That was going to be clean, just a bit of a cleaner chart there. That daily high is going to be the 84 handle, right? And we also have this weekly high here at 69.09-ish, right? Here's some multi-view offs down here. The team is looking at that. Good job. All right. So I could break this down. All right. I'm going to start to, I could break this order down. Okay. I'm going to start to begin to take a G-trap short here at 68.90 handle above the daily high above. And we have a weekly high here. Stop loss on this is going, I'm going to break this order down into two. Stop loss on this is going to be 69.23. This is G-trap short. I can set up the G-trap long here. So stop loss on this is going to be 69.24. So if you were to focus on kind of like the hot pink here, if you will. All right, so to break this order down into two, okay, so it's the position size calculator here for Phantoms. Okay, I'm going to send this out to you folks here. I'm going to start short, and I'm going to break this order down. So stop loss 69.24, 69.24. All right, so I got a supply zone. I'm going to break this order down into two, right? So I'll keep this one 0. All right, so this one is going to be first entry 68.90. I'm going to scale in. Second entry is going to be 69.09. Okay, and this just breaks down the risk, right? So it's going to be a 34-point risk on this. There's going to be a 15-point risk on this. Stop loss on both these is going to be 69.24. Okay, and if I were to break this down, I'll take, for example, I'll just try to keep it simple for right now. I'll take a $600 risk. I'm going to put $300 of risk. I'm going to break this order down. 600 there. Break that down to 300 there, 300 there. So I'm going to take $300 of risk off this first entry is 68.90, 34-point risk. Okay, therefore I could do not really a micro here. I could do, I'll round up. I'll do two micros here. All right, and then if I were to risk another 300, so it'd be a little bit more higher than 300. That's all good. So I'll do, let me do 350 here then. And this is going to be 15 points of risk. So therefore I can do 5 contracts there. All right. So if I take this, MES, order ticket. I'm going to have 2 targets on this. I'm going to do 2, sell short at 68.90. 68.90. 68.90. Stop loss 69.24. Stop loss is going to be 34 points, 69.24. 94, 69.24. Now target 1 on this. Just I'm going to put a generic kind of 68.56. 68.56. Just put a generic target here. Just for right now, 68.22. All right, so sell, right, 68.90 limit, right, good for the day. All right, we got stop loss 69.24, right, this is a bearish trade, 69.24, target one, target two position size. You're going to be about a little bit over $300 of risk on that if you put your entry at 69.90, 69.24, stop loss there. All right, got the quantity there, and that's going to be a full send. All right, so the prop account, by the way, and as you can just see those orders in here. Right? All right, now that's just half. Right, so entry, stop, target one, target two, etc. We can make an adjustment there. All right, that's just half the size that I want to get on. So I'm going to open this bad boy up again. All right, and can set up another one, right? So open up another order ticket here. So I'm going to do 5 contracts here. Okay, we got entry 69.09. I'll just throw 3 targets on this. Okay, stop loss first, right? 15 points takes us to 69.24. Stop loss first. Stop loss across the board 69.24. 5, 1, 2, that equals 5. Target 1. All right, I'm just gonna again just generic here. The Phantoms team we towards the end of Friday's session was great because we started to talk about scaling and R ratios, etc. Didn't have enough time to get through everything that we kind of wanted to there. Okay. But I'm going to keep these bigger targets here just for right now, right? So this is kind of 2 here. So I'm going to get the first one here, 69. I'm sorry, 68.94. All right, and then I'm going to keep these ones just for right now, a bit bigger for right now. All right, looks good. 5, 1, 1, 5, stop loss, target. All right, good to go. So I'll send that out. All right, we got to move on here. All right, great. So we got some G traps set up there. If I had a little more time, I guess I could set up the bolt trap down there too as well. But 13 minutes before open, we'll just continue this. It was called just a position size risk calculator. I got the S&P, NASDAQ, and gold futures. Those are the main ones there. All right, just real quick there. All right, so kind of dropped off there. So I got some orders in there, right? So in this hot pink, just set up that G trap position size there, right? Accordingly, etc. etc. All right, 68.90, 69.09, stop loss 69.24. Again, Globex high above a couple of daily highs here, weekly high here. Do not want to be a victim of stop loss there. Very similar to last week where we had weekly lows here. You see yellow, below yellow, daily lows, fresh level of demand, boom, up here, okay, daily highs, yellow, last week's high, potential liquidity sweep here, okay, wiggle room, stop loss, all right. So there you are, G-trap lower down here. Now, if I were to spend some more time with you folks here in the right, you could do the same thing that I just did there and start to scale in potentially lower down here. This would be the more conservative one lower there. All right, NASDAQ futures, backed up, not backed up because this is what we do, but typically I have so much other things to cover as well, even in regard to options. But just the NASDAQ futures 1 hour time frame, holy smokes, weekly low, level of demand below there, nailed it. 24,775. Okay, beautiful G trap. Didn't manage it properly though. I will say that. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning in the live trade room there. I got so much stuff that I want to talk to you folks about, just in a good thing, right? Phantoms members are growing very rapidly, so got to take them to another level, higher level. Great. That was last week's trade, right? Thursday high low, just beautiful, right? That was last week. Here's today, so we got to update this. We got 10 minutes, 11 minutes before the market open. We had a couple levels of supply up here. This is a bit of an aggressive one that actually kind of popped yesterday, had a little bit of a drop for the day. Then we rallied back up. We had another level, 25,760 right there that came up into. That is basically the Globex high here for today. Okay, so again, just mapping out levels. I'm going to clean this up now. I mean, even though that one's working out very well for right now, that's a basic level of supply there. And that is going to be where the market kind of stopped, at least overnight, to create that overnight high right there. Right here's the current price. So this gray space is the overnight session. All right. This is also going to be about at or around yesterday's highs. A bunch of daily highs here as well. Right now, if I go to the micro NASDAQ, just again, same thing. This is just going to help clean things up for us, right? So we have yesterday's high here, but we also have a couple of daily highs in here, right? So this is yesterday's high, daily high, daily high. I'm just going to use this one daily high right there. Now this daily high is in the middle. Okay, it's in the middle of what? Well, in the middle of the move up, correction, move down, and this daily high is like that's kind of in the middle of that, right? So not super great in terms of location, but a daily high nonetheless. So anything that we, when you have higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily highs and lows, all right, look for the 1 hour and the 4 hour and the 30-minute kind of fresh levels wrapped around these levels with some G traps. That will help you qualify certain levels in addition to how Mr. Black takes you through that scoring process, if you will. So it's a bunch of daily highs up here, right? Now, one of the things here, this is my experience talking, right above the couple of these dailies high here, there's another daily high is all the way up there. Okay, there's a little bit of a level right above these levels that to a non-trained eye does not look super significant. Okay, but because we're above these daily highs, okay, we could be looking for we have an even number here as well, right? We could be looking for a level of supply above those daily highs. Now, these levels were developed during the overnight session, okay, meaning above the daily high of the 11.5 bar. Okay, but we could be using these for potentially for some G traps here. So if I were to break the overnight high and yesterday's high in these daily highs, we have a little bit of a drop, base drop, kind of fresh level. Call it 25,950. This could be used as a bit of a G trap here for today. Short. Just be careful with that one. All right, so I'll just map this one out. 25,009. What was it? About 950. So I go to the NASDAQ. All right, 25,950. And you kind of already have this one mapped out. All right, G-Trap short. There's also 26,012 level on level up there as well. Okay, so potential G-Trap short up here of these daily highs, right? Globex low here. There goes the regular trading hours low of yesterday. Here's the actual yesterday's low. Beautiful level of demand right here. That's kind of already mapped out. This is not aggressive. Right below this little level. There's levels on levels on levels on levels in here as the Phantoms members are gracefully preparing, right? So this could be a G-trap long. Now this one would be a little bit more aggressive, right? And again, right below there, that gap fill. Interesting. 25,002. Call it 25. All right, got to move on. Market's opening up in about 5 minutes. Gold, nice. Right, so there's levels there. This one's a bit more aggressive. These ones are going to be better G traps. We have so many other things that we can confluence here. Micro gold. I mean, well, just I clicked on the micro, so it's clean chart, right? Monthly, weekly, daily up. Now, last week, this is gold. Monthly, weekly, daily. Last week was inside week, small doji here, right? We had a couple like inside days. Gold finally popped up. Gold finally popping up over here, right? So we have a couple daily highs here. Just watch out for it, right? So if long TP some. Okay, I got a ton of spreads on GLD from the 350 that 350 handle October's low. Didn't sweep. I was hoping that we kind of swept a little bit more low before kind of going higher. We have a couple of like levels over here, daily highs, etc., that we just have to absorb. So just watch out. Don't get trapped on like bullishness, right above here, because we could have a bit of a correctional move just day trade wise. Get this weekly high up here. Obviously, we're above last week's high already. Last week was literally nothing, doing nothing in gold. Open, high, low, right? Close, doji, but inside bar. Okay, inside bar after a pullback, getting some demand here, right? October lows below here, right? I have a couple levels down here prepared. Was hoping that we kind of flushed below the October low for the month of November so far, but so far in November, 1 week in, we're starting to click back to the upside here, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, mapping out our Globex high, Globex low, this is where all the notes are going to be. So it's going to be kind of aggressive here, but there's the October low. And this was just the basis. So we just kind of pinched, right? Just kind of going sideways there, and we finally kind of breaking out, right? We have a couple daily levels. I will say these daily highs, right? So if long, TP some, watch out for a potential little liquidity sweep right above these levels, those daily highs. And there's some stuff up here on a very small time frame. Now we are beginning to have some kind of alignment here. I don't have enough time right now, 3 minutes before we're open, to talk about this. We are beginning to have a little bit of alignment here, so it'll be interesting. All right, if I had a little more time, I'll talk more about that. All right, but just stay the course, team, right? In terms of mapping out your Globex highs, which will be right there for gold today. Here's our Globex lows, give or take, somewhere over here today. And then again, just looking for an institutional level of demand below, say the Globex low. Now this level's already have impulse, basing impulse. We already kind of pulled back, rallied to this level, dropped to this level, and rallied out of it. So it's not prime, not fresh. But we can reference this area here. Call it the 4090 handle. As a potential, G trap. It's been tested though, so watch out with that. And this level was developed overnight, but it is a decent level of demand. Right, that comes in at about 4065 ish. All right, this is recorded, so you can go back and watch this. I gotta move on. Market's bell's about to ring, and I'm nowhere near as prepped as what I need to be or should be. All right, so some G traps there. Bullish, and if you're looking bearish, just for a short-term scalp, I'd watch out for a liquidity sweep right above this level here, 41.75. We get the even number here at 42, and I look for a level of supply on the small time frames right above that level. Now that we already have one up here, 42.32, right above those daily highs, because I don't know if we're going to snap all the way to the upside there. Could. I don't have enough time right now for that, but watch out for a small base drop right above these daily highs here. All right, right above those daily highs, just for a short-term if long TP some, and maybe a short-term what's called counter trend mean revert scalp short. VIX, where you at? Don't even have enough time to go over gamma or anything like that, which is not great. Mr. Blue, when the 20 EMA is inclining on weekly and declining on daily, that's misalignment. Yes. That's misalignment. T Wang. But you got to go. You're gonna get more trained and used to understanding. Okay, daily in smaller time, daily's down, or maybe 60-minute is down, making lower highs. But what are we coming into on the higher time frame? You're getting a lot better at that, T Wang, my man. Law of inertia. Law of inertia. Greater to or equal to or greater forces. Higher time frames. There's the bell. Nowhere near. I just let it ring. I didn't even want anything else. I am on VIX. VIX, super important. Overnight high, overnight low. VIX down, market up. VIX up, market down. A lot more to that, but for right now, we'll keep it that simple. Take a quick peek at internals while I'm here. Plus 700, nothing crazy there. VVIX down. All D +2. Probably gonna be a quiet. Well, never know, but probably gonna be a quiet morning for the most part. So we got a slight gap down. It's nothing too. It's nothing crazy. So it's just a slight gap down from yesterday's bullish close. So yesterday's view up. There's some interesting levels here. Let me just check GAX and Gamma. JP Morg's. We're in a kind of negative. We're in kind of a negative GAX regime. One of the key takeaways for today was this 68.40 handle, which was fairly massive positive gamma here at the 6900, 6910s, I should say. That's all the way up here though. So we got some negative GAX regimes here. So it could pick up some volatility. One way or the other. Let me see JP Morgan. I am long Tesla for the record, by the way. I got the 470 and 480 strike calls for this week and next week, by the way. That pro gap up on Monday morning. JP Morgan. Broadcom trying to do something here. JP Morgan is just on a all-time high yesterday, just grinding its way to all-time high. Let's see. Tesla. All right, just pulling VWAPs here. Let's see. I don't see much out the gate. I know Google was on fire yesterday. see, Google had nice pro gap, mortgage gap actually yesterday. Nice follow through. I don't know if anybody caught that. Nice setup. I like how we gapped down into the level. Google could be one for relative strength, but you can see mags are a little heavy at the moment. AVGO popping out. AVGO, Google, some of the more, at least right now, relative strength plays. Tesla too. We have to clear these dailies highs. That's the thing on AVGO. It's already going though. So AVGO could be a bid for a for just relative strength, at least at the moment. Tesla as well, somewhat decent relative strength. I probably already missed a little bit of a AVGO pop here. All right, but it's already going. We got what are we trading? 61s. Gotta be a little careful. We go to like a 30 delta, maybe the 370s. We're going for about $3.10 there. All right, so stop loss, 220, 210. So you're probably risking about 80 cents, give or take here. All right, so long call. This is a 370 strike call on the AVGO. Where's this AVGO? Netflix. You see the let me show you this Tesla, at least this here, right? I got this is just the 480 for this week's expiration. This is very low risk. It's kind of out there. It's kind of out there. It's kind of out there. That's one of the ones I got for Tesla. Tesla for a long call. The day is looking juice decent already. Oh, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix looking good. I know some folks who caught this down into this area here. Looking good. Looking good, looking good, looking good. All right. All right, Tesla. 442. Just want to be careful with it. S&Ps and NASDAQ are very quiet at the moment. Not doing much, team. AVGO failure. Tesla looking good. AVGO failure. So this is going to be wrong locations annoying. I'm just going to cut out AVGO wrong. All right, it should be where it stopped loss anyways, right? All right, wrong. Wrong on this. So we're trade. Google, Tesla looking good. Let's get out of this. I'm out of Google pop. Closing the gap, TP. So that's a loss. All right, get out of the way on that. And Google, an odd open. Location on AVGO is not great. So that's just not great location. It's just in the middle too much. Tesla VWAP tag. This is Google. Google had a bit of a better fall through, at least to the gap fill on that. Netflix, nice little ripper there. I don't know if anybody bought some of those shares. Looking decent. A very odd morning. Be patient today, folks. Be patient every day, but let things unravel, develop. Let the market come to levels for you. I would suggest be careful. We got many forces. We got down, swipe, gap up, fall through, gap up, push up, get slight gap down today. So we got we're navigating still a pullback. Still this pullback. Hard to explain. Like Greater Force is up versus a nice pullback last week, and we're pullback, retracement, tag. This could be the low for a potential new higher high potentially, right? And so this is the absorption of that, or not, right? Or not. If we don't reclaim and get back above and conquer these levels up above here, well, we could chop around for a little bit here, right? Well, devil's advocate, we could also make a new low, right? Not I'm saying today, but just overall, the force is to be. So just be patient, right? Let it be patient, right? And let wait for levels. Okay, you can always that's as a As a trader, one of the edges that you can have within yourself is to wait. Netflix, nice, new high. Is to wait. Dude, Apple is like an easy. Somebody even mentioned this. Apple was fucking easy long trade. Oh my god, why? It's hot. It's hitting on my chart up here. Apple is just chilling right now, doing its thing. Coming out of this ugly base. Apple nice fall through there. Here we go. This IBM for you. Mark Weber finally right today. Got a nice little pop. Nice. Good job, brother. Options are not as liquid, but decent there. AMD looking at one of the better out of the semis space here. AMD has a setup. AMD has long call setup here. This is a nice formation. So AMD can work. It's giving you a bar to work off of here. Long call AMD. Daily high target there. Let's have some space. AMD looking. Apple new high noise. So we pick like a 30 delta, 32 delta. That could be like the 255, 257 strike. Even if it went 257 half here, that'd be long call here. 257 half on AMD. What is this AMD? $257 half strike call. All right. Indeed, Money Mike, sir. My man. Just wait for those monthly, weekly, daily lows, highs, tags, and confluence them. Put them into perspective with the liquidity map, multiple time frame alignment. What else do you need? Execute. I will say, super odd morning today. NASDAQ trying to break down a bit. And what's happened, see, like I don't know, it's just we're still heavy from this pullback here. So that's the thing. Like we get these bullish long setups here, but they're just in the middle of the correctional move versus the right. So as you can see, NASDAQ, S&P kind of heavy, breaking down a little bit. Nothing crazy, but they're snapping down a little bit. They're lower. Below their VWAP, at least for the day. Triple new high, looking good. Which I was going to break Globex low potentially. And that's that. And it's it's hard to like get short down hard to get short like chase that. VWAP for the day for futures are up here, it's below it, but just be patient, wait. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that. Netflix. I can maybe shave out a couple shares there on Netflix. It's choppy, y'all. AMD flop. Says T Wayne. Choppy. Wait for the indexes to kind of unravel a little bit there. Now with this AMD, I'll leave it for, if it violates that wide range bar there, what is that? That's going to be, that's going to be probably about $1.50 of risk. So his stop loss on AMD. Google trying to just do its thing. Nothing is at an extreme at all whatsoever. Yeah, they wanted. You see how it's just hard. You see how if I look down, here's the Globex low that we just snapped a little bit below, real quick, right? But it's hard for me to get short right into that level of demand. Does that make sense? It's hard for me to chase that short below that Globex low because that's where a trap happens. So I mean, this is actually an aggressive G trap long here. Does that make sense, team? I mean, just here's current price. Look down and left. What are you coming into? Is that a level of demand or is that a level of supply right there? I'm not trying to be weird. It's just look left right there, coming into that. Short, okay, short to this level of demand yesterday, where the NASDAQ literally popped out to a new high. So, you see what I'm saying? Right? So don't just look at current price like, oh, it's boring, it's going down. Let me just go down with it. Look left, go to the process, go to the system, all that, right? And, this is not the greatest level. It's a level of demand, albeit. I have this one mapped out because I'm just looking at, there's the regular trading hours low that would be QQQ. Also low here, right? Regular trading hours, yesterday's low. right, but yes, you know, the markets right now, if I'm looking at daily VWAP right now, I was going to mention something here where we have like this wick here. Wicks are important. And, right, you know, where, you know, if you are short, say, for example, the NASDAQ or the S&Ps, for example, what should you be doing here? You got your bit of a move here, albeit still super early, right? But you do have your opening day's range here, first 15, break down a little bit here into a level demand. You should be TPing some of those shorts, at least at a minimum, or at least scaling out of some. And if you want to short, as we rally up into, say, VWAP for the day, you'd be legging into some shorts. Now, right, which one's, whoops, which one's weaker? The NASDAQ's a bit more weaker. Right, so this would be your chance now, okay, to leg into a bearish trade. Google Pop. And violation here, Google Pop. So we got long. This is what I was waiting for. Between 680, 681s. All right, OD is kind of cleaning up here now. Very shit above. All right, I'm getting long call spies for sure. Long call spies. Let's go to the 681s at the money essentially there. This is our spies. $6.81 strike call for a buck. Simple enough. SPY. $6.81. Dun, dun, dun. Man, Google, so easy. Wow, I'm messing around with AVGO when Google's aligned. So Google, relative strength, one of the strongest stocks in the world. The mag last Friday dropped down, but we already cleared level. We're already at the around the all-time highs, cleared levels here, right? So mistake that I made today was just not, I mentioned Google. This is relative strength. This is giving us all the proper setups here, but we cleared the higher time frame stuff. So here to the left, got a daily time frame left, versus something like AVGO. Okay, AVGO. Look up and left here, right? Google's clear up here, relatively speaking, just cleared all this stuff from like last week. AVGO did not. So it traded long in the middle of just kind of shit, right? And similarly to AVGO, right? I'm not AVGO. Well, yes, AVGO, yes, indeed. AMD. All right, I'm still in this one here. But why is the thing all choppy? Well, look at the condition or location where we're at. All right, daily on the right, and we have obviously, of course, this massive move up. Okay, gray, snooze. We already know now this is the pullback, and this is the now we have overall uptrend. So this could be the low, and this could be the what could be the impulsion wave to, of course, create that new higher high. But what if we don't? We're in the middle here, right? So we haven't cleared, and that's the thing. So if I look at Google, we're already we already cleared a lot of the middle mess, as opposed to AVGO and AMD did not. JP Morgan, even another one that someone was mentioning there, where at least JP Morgan, it's above all the last week's kind of like mess, right? But you can see the market's not really pushing that much, right? It's not really moving that much. Yeah, somebody said Amazon bearish. Just be careful with that. It's actually set up to be bullish, not to be a prick, but just the way the chart's telling me right now. On the intermediate, actually, Amazon trying to do something there. We need some juice though. Man, it's so weird right now. I'll be honest. I'm always honest, but it's weird right now, folks. Yeah, T-Wang, I took a loss on AVGO. It's manageable. Better setups. Don't rip it. Be careful today, team. All right, so just wait. For what? For levels? Just wait, because you're going to take some risk if you're gonna try to get that next move up or down, whatever it is. You're going to take some risk on that, right? You're probably going to take a couple of shots, slap in the face here and there a little bit here to try to catch that, or you just wait and have the market come to you and pick your battle, right? Does that make sense, team? All right, that's the way it goes sometimes. That's just the way it goes sometimes. I wish I had something a bit better for you folks. I mean, I'm still gonna kind of do my thing here, but it's kind of odd. All right, so just wait. And if you're taking a couple of maybe small wins, small losses here and there, that's not bad. Chip, and we'll see if we get some movement. If you want to learn a little bit more about this, kind of an odd morning, but we got you can go to TradePhantoms.com, right? Most retail traders lose. We'll help you fix that shit, right? If you were to click on register, you would get to this page here, Thursday, November 13th, 2 days from now, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Name, email, phone number. If you click on attend there, you will get sent a link and register to about a 90-minute class, give or take, hosted by the Mr. Black or the Mr. Green. Here's the agenda. You all can kind of read through that. Stock, futures, forex, options, even crypto, day trading, short-term trading, all the way to wealth management. Okay, kind of a one-stop shop for all markets and all trading. We're not for everybody, and everybody's not for us, that's for sure. You'll check it out, see if you like it. Great. Could potentially become part of the team. If not, it's great as well. We'll continue to do what we need to do here. Rip tape, trade, setups, manage our risk, and keep it moving. That said, did we get a COG on a 1 hour with NQ off of weekly VWAP? Correct. I don't know, Mike. Do you know two colors? Did a green bar take out a red bar on a 1 hour time frame? If yeah, then yeah. If no, then no. Come on, Money Mike. You know what a COG is or not. SPY's just flushed out. I'm going to take a loss on those SPY calls. So I got to focus here. A little odd today. Folks, go to TradePhantoms.com. You can check that out. My man Money Mike, I'll see you, brother. Hopefully you're well. And I'll see some of y'all later today. God bless. Take care.